in Ireland is also here. It's called Dirty Nelly's.
Where is
It was belonged to a person called Nelly, and the pub was a very small pub at the time, built around 1625. And when you went in there that time, she sat behind the counter, and the roof was so small because people in Ireland were so small. So Nelly's is the yellow building there. Do you see the yellow building?
Yes.
That's Dirty Nelly's. And when you went inside the door,
Neighborhood Nelly.
yeah, and when you went inside the door, the first thing you would see was her two white eyes because of the smoke from the chimney. Because when you opened the door, the smoke would come down the chimney. So you'd say to Nelly, "May I have a pint of Guinness?"
Wow.
And she'd fill the pint of Guinness because the barrel was under the tap, and the Guinness was like mother's milk. And you'd say, "Oh my God, this Guinness is beautiful."
Oh.
So then you'd say, "I have to have another pint of that." But you'd have to tell her, "Can you please put it in the glass that you have?" Because if you didn't, she had a dirty basin of water and she'd wash the glass in the dirty basin of water and then put the Guinness into it. So you had to, that's why she got the name Dirty Nelly. But she was also
Drink with a dirty glass.
she was also fond of the men as well, you know. She was partial to the men.
Nelly.
Oh, clean glass maybe if I show a little spin.
And sometimes if she didn't like them, she'd say to him, "Well, you can always look at the menu, but you have to eat at home."
Oh.
So that was Dirty Nelly.
Dirty Nelly. Neighborhood Nelly.
Dirty Nelly. So you'll see those bars everywhere, but this is the original one. That's the original Dirty Nelly's. But the castle is a beautiful castle. A lot of history there, you know. You would need 3 to 4 hours to go around the folk park in there. It gives you a lot of history, how people lived in Ireland many, many years ago, how the wealthy lived, how the middle class lived, and how the poor lived. You know, that was the thing in Ireland. You see, you have to remember here in Ireland, one time here in Ireland there was 9 million people. That was before the Great Famine. And that time the Irish people were controlled by the English because the English took our land from us. And then we had to lease our land and we had to pay taxes on what we grew. So we grew the potatoes and they taxed us on them. And then they taxed us on the houses. They taxed us on the size of our houses. They taxed us on the size of the window. They taxed us on the size of the door. So the bigger the window, the more tax you paid. It was a light tax. So when we took back our land in 1916, we then told the English they had to go home. So we burned down a lot of the properties that they owned it. So a lot of the castles, of course, you know, they had thatched roofs and that they still remained, and they had timber roofs. So the ruins, like, you know, were left there. So a lot of those castles are rebuilt today with roofs in them and bedrooms. And just up the road from here, you have Drumolin Castle. I just told this gentleman behind me here. And Drumolin Castle is a 16th century castle, and today it's a 5-star hotel. A beautiful place to stay. It's on about 300 acres of land.
On your left or your right?
It was originally on about 6,000 or 7,000, but an Irish American came in 1960, and he bought the castle with 300 acres and the castle for £60,000. He opened it up as a hotel, and he achieved the quality of 5-star. And he died in 1986, and his son and daughter didn't want it, so it was sold to a consortium of business people from America. So they bought it for about $5 million. And then Greg Norman was staying there in 2000, and he told them they needed to put money into the golf course. So they put roughly about 8 million into the golf course, and now they're just after spending 25 million in the castle. It's beautiful. It's, if you're ever coming back again, try to stay there. You will love it. It's absolutely beautiful.
What's the name of it?
Drumoland. I've given it to you. I give it to him there. It's a beautiful place. They have archery, they have birds of prey, they have horse riding, they have pitch and putt, they have everything for the kids, like, so it's ideal. They have a leisure centre as well. So you know, there's everything there to do. Very popular for weddings. They get a lot of weddings there. So they do get a lot of American weddings there, they get a lot of Irish weddings there. So there's quite a lot of weddings there.
yesterday we were at a bar and they had on TV. They were skiing and then they stopped to hit up. Yeah, they had to hit a target.
Wait a minute.